Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Hey, come here. You like pro wrestling? We got a little something for you. Two fans, 3,000 miles away. We each been watching for more than 30 years. Celebrating the art form, the action, the homoeroticism. We ain't rating matches. We ain't analyzing stories. We ain't experts. We just sit down, shut up, and mark out! Hello, everybody. It is Blade Daily back at your regular Mark time on your regular Mark channel with my regular Mark co-host. It's another edition of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. And I'm joined by the one, the only, you missed her, back by popular demand. And just because we do this show together, her name is Joshi G. She's the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. She is the greatest Canadian pro wrestling podcaster in the history of pro wrestling podcasts. Hi, Joshi.
Hey, I Blade.
How you doing?
Not bad. It's too bad that I couldn't join the ultra big recap show last week, but I did listen to it, and all four of you did a wonderful job. So I applaud all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a super ultra mega review. That was a 3-hour review of a 6-hour show, baby.
I guess if I was part of it, it would have ended up being like 5 hours. So,
you know, it was funny because after the show, I was like, if we had had any more people, it just would have been even longer. You know, I had no idea it was going to be that long when we taped it. And it was wild. It was wild, but it was a lot of fun to do. Thanks to Brett Michelle. Thank you to Kurt Jangle, the only adult on the internet. And thank you to Pippin. You'll hear them all again sometime in the near future. Joshi, how the hell have you been?
I've been struggling with the heat wave in Montreal.
Yeah.
Over 100 Fahrenheit every day is not normal for Canadians.
No.
Please take this weather back.
Yeah.
We don't like it at all. Okay. But it finally cooled off today. No, it's not okay. So it was just a struggle, but I'm all right this Friday. Yeah. Fridays are always great, right? And
Fridays are pretty rad.
They're pretty rad. And, you know, All In was an awesome show. Put me in a very good mood. Mm-hmm. So lots of good stuff happening. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I went and saw Superman last night.
So how was it? I've heard such great things about it.
So here's the thing. I am very surface level Superman guy. Okay. Like as a kid, I loved the movies, but I've never been a big fan of the character. Really, like I've never really delved super deep into the comics. I've read a few. And with that, I think that actually helped me because the people that I've talked to that are really big fans of Superman and the lore of Superman and all that, or have read a lot of Superman, they're like nitpicking at a lot of stuff. And for me, I had a blast. I thought it was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's nice to see a superhero movie that's not in the Marvel fold, like in the Marvel cutout of how they do movies, but also directed by James Gunn, who's just a fantastic director, knows how to blend seriousness with humor so well. And if you're going to have an anthropomorphic animal, in this case, Crypto the dog, if you're going to have an anthropomorphic dog, James Gunn should be the one to do it because that guy knows how to do anthropomorphic animals really, really well. He made a fake raccoon make me tear up.
Me too.
In the last Guardians movie. That was insane. But I thought it was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. I was in a pretty crowded theater for it being a Thursday night at the time I went and saw it. So it's doing well, and I think people are really, really enjoying it. And it's awesome to see DC kind of making an inroad with their theatrical stuff. I know they were the butt of a lot of jokes, including by me for a long time, but it seems like they're finally getting their cinematic universe together. And I do applaud them for sticking with it. You know, it would have been easy to just be like, fuck it, Marvel, you just do it. With that said, Joshi, we did do a super ultra mega review of Oh, wait, I have other news. You did hear during the review last week that I lost Gerald.
Yeah. What? So fill me in.
Well, it turns out that he needs water to live.
Oh.
Big shock, right? Who would have known that, right? He's 3'6".
No one would
How much
know.
water can you need? And food. Food's a big deal. And so he was kind of a brat, and he rebelled against me. And apparently when I wasn't home, he was watching my YouTube and becoming red-pilled, and he became a massive mega guy, and he ran away. Kurt Jangle saw him at All In.
Really?
Yeah, he went to spite me, clearly. He went just to spite me. Pippin had mentioned that he actually ran him down and threw him in the trunk. When he opened the trunk to send him back to me, he was gone.
I'm very sorry to hear this. This is devastating.
Gerald, come home. You know, just come home. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'll give you water. I'll give you food. Like, my mistake. You know what I mean? My mistake.
It can happen to anybody.
Hey, we live, we learn. I mean, Gerald almost didn't live, but we learn, right? We learn.
So who will fill in for him now?
I'm the DJ, and I got to say, not a good one. So, sorry, everybody. I will try to treat the next DJ better. Or we'll get Gerald back, or I don't know. I mean, honestly, if Pippin had returned him to me, I think a lot of people might have had a problem with that because... Anyway, so Joshi, we did do that big review, right?
Yes.
And I would like to get your thoughts on the record about All In. It was a 6-hour extravaganza. And if you watched the pre-show, it was an 8-hour extravaganza. And I did watch both.
Me too.
Yeah. This really, to me, felt like their first, like, it felt like almost like how we used to think of WrestleMania, you know? But I want to know your thoughts, not my thoughts. People were just bombarded for 3 hours with my thoughts. So what was your overall impression of the show now that it's over?
I thought it was an excellent show. For sure, it was a long one, but it didn't feel super long. And like you said, it felt like AEW's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really think of a bad match on the show. So for me, definitely one of my favorite AEW pay-per-views ever. Maybe my favorite ever. I'm not sure. I would have to think it over because there have been so many great ones. But I loved it. It was definitely a show that I thought about a lot after it finished. Lots of great moments, sad moments as well, of course.
Yeah.
So, you know, dealing with all these different feelings throughout that show. And I feel like even after we received really sad news, which I could get into later, they've managed to find a way to get the crowd pumped up again and into the matches again. So they did a really good job with that because honestly, after Adam Cole's announcement, I was just sad. Yeah. And I thought, how am I going to enjoy the rest of the show now? But luckily, they gave us a lot of really great moments that made us feel good. So I applaud them for that. Very terrific show.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it was definitely hard for a while to feel up again. And you could tell in the crowd, too. People were just really sad. And then you got that match, which was just kind of haphazardly kind of thrown together. But I thought the moment with Dustin winning, like Brett said it really well on our review, which was like, what the fuck? Oh, wait, this makes perfect sense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought that was the right call. Initially, I was surprised because I thought Kyle Fletcher was going to win.
Yeah, we all did.
But after Adam Cole's very sad announcement, Dustin Rhodes was the person that needed to win in order for the crowd to feel really positive and happy again because he is a Texan. And you know what? I know there were people that were unhappy about that result, but Dustin has given so much to AEW and he has been such an advocate for the company that it's hard to hate on that decision. He's just such a great guy and has done so many wonders for the company. So it's well deserved. And how many TNT, matches has he been in and he hasn't won? Give him his moments.
Yeah.
Who knows how many years he has left? To me, Dustin is a very special athlete. So yeah, I think it was the right call. And as I said, after he won and the crowd got very excited and it kind of set the tone for the rest of the show.
It did. And fortunately for us, really, the show hadn't even gotten going yet by that point. We'd had just a few matches and then it got going and really, really picked up from there. So what were kind of the standout matches, the standout entrances, the standout moments for you?
Yeah, so there were quite a few. So in terms of standout moments, I would say during the women's gauntlet match, Sherry coming out just made me so freaking happy. I was jumping up and down. I had wondered if she would be at All In.
Right.
And it happened. And as I mentioned on the show before, Sherry is, in my opinion, the best female wrestler on the planet. So seeing her there and the kind of reaction that she got from the crowd made me so freaking happy. She deserves it. She's a special talent. I want everybody to become familiar with Sherry. Although it wasn't a surprise, Alex Windsor coming out was really cool, and having Sherry and Alex face off in the ring, it kind of take us back to their match from about like a couple of months ago. Actually last month. It was in June. I like that. I like that a lot. Athena coming out, of course, and the reaction she got from the crowd being a Texan. Amazing moment. Her winning. Awesome moment. And I was really happy that that Tony Khan listened to me and chose Athena, but she was the one that I felt was going to win. I had said it would either be her or Chris Statlander. And this is just a great way for Athena to challenge for the AEW Women's World title and hopefully win it at some point. So I was very happy with that result. I loved Will Ospreay's Assassin's Creed entrance. That was freaking awesome. I love Ezio. So yeah, that was just, oh man. I thought everything about that was freaking cool. Swerve's entrance, so JoJo singing. Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah. And the fireflies and all that. Very special moments. Yeah. Those two just felt like such a big deal. Of course, you had the Bucks entrance, which was so freaking long and ridiculous. I was just like, this is still going on? Are you serious? I love when AEW just trusts the audience to stick with something, because it was obviously on purpose that it was that long. Yeah. And you couldn't wait to see these fuckers get killed. They were just being so annoying and arrogant, right? You just wanted them to get their butts kicked. So, yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. Kenny Omega had an excellent entrance. Yeah. Loved his. Yeah. And I would say my overall favorite, though, was Mercedes. They did an excellent job. She felt like the biggest star with the cheerleaders and her outfit, the car. Oh, my God. Even though she lost, you just felt that this was the biggest female wrestler in the world right now. Yes. Yep. So that was awesome. Of course, in the men's gauntlet match, Juice coming back, I was very happy about that, but shocked that he was clean shaven. That looked took like me Nick by surprise. Yeah, I wasn't sure how I felt about that. I said, "What the hell is this, Juice?" No, I haven't seen a single person who likes it. Yeah, he looked looks strange.
He looks weird.
You know? Really weird. And obviously, I liked the Bang Bang Gang's reunion. I thought that was really great. So seeing the Gun Club back and reunited with Juice, that was really awesome as well. Because I've been saying, we've been saying that we want those guys back together. We love that faction. We love the entrance music. So those, in terms of like moments and entrances, those stood out to me the most. Now, in terms of matches, love the main event.
Yeah.
It was so freaking good. I'm not usually someone that likes, you know, a bunch of shenanigans and interferences, but we knew it would happen in this match and it made sense. Was very sad to see Will Ospreay get killed.
Yeah.
Of course, he's been that really great little brother to everybody.
He really has been the best little brother you could ever imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was sad, but I did like Bryan Danielson showing up. I liked Darby Allin coming down from the top, from the rafters. And they showed his little, you know, promo from the top of Mount Everest. That guy's just insane. One part that I found very hilarious was when Marina, she was going to get, I think it was a chair, if I'm not mistaken.
She was getting the briefcase.
Or was it the briefcase? Okay. So it was a briefcase. That's it. And all of a sudden, she can't move. She's handcuffed.
Yep.
And you just see Prince Nana stand up and do his little dance. Oh, my God. I laughed so hard at that. That was so good.
It was the most perfect thing that Prince Nana would do, that character would do, you know?
Yeah. Oh, my God. And then, of course, Swerve being the last one to come out and to help out Hangman Adam Page. That was perfect. He had to be the last one. And, you know, seeing Hangman, I mean, his name is Hangman. He's a hanger. So he literally hung freaking Moxley and choked him out. And just to see his emotions, you know, like he was, you know, he was crying and, you know, opening the briefcase, and we finally see the belt again. And he holds it up and he's just overcome with joy. And the crowd is obviously very happy. Love that. I absolutely love that match. I love that Hangman won. Of course, it was the right call. The crowd loved it. The crowd was great, by the way. I mean, there were so many people. I'd say the only match that they were kind of, well, matches actually. The two matches I feel they were quiet for were the opening match. So the trios match. I don't know. For some reason, they were only loud when Joe was in the ring. And then, which is like fine, fair enough. Everybody loves Joe. And then, of course, the TNT title match, which is understandable considering the circumstances. But besides those two matches, they were into everything. So that was great.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I absolutely loved Young Bucks versus Swerve and Will Ospreay.
Yep.
Oh, my God. That match was freaking amazing. Definitely a 5-star match.
Masterpiece.
I don't care. Oh, yeah. I don't care what anybody says about the Bucks. These two are the best tag team of all time, period. And, you know, I did like that Ospreay and Swerve had some difficulty getting on the same page at times.
Yes. No,
there was like
great.
some frustration, but it's not like they were mad at each other. They were just trying to like rally each other up and be like, hey, we could do this. And, you know, and I'm trying to remember the spot. Was it Ospreay that accidentally hit Swerve, right?
With the
and I was just the hidden blade. I was just like, oh shit. I said, oh my God, are the Bucks gonna win? I was like convinced that Ospreay and Swerve were going to win, but they had these moments in the match that made you question that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So they did a great job with that.
Yep.
So absolutely love that match. I loved Mercedes Tony Storm.
Yeah.
But that was an excellent match. The only thing that took away from that match for me was that oral sex gesture. I did not like that at all. I thought it was unnecessary and forced. But besides that, the match was awesome. I like the 3 storm drivers. It was really well done, especially the last one from the top rope. That was brutal.
Right.
And it took forever to put Mercedes away, which is great because that's the way it should have been.
Yeah, she died a warrior's death. She went down. Did. I mean, Tony just barely beat her, and she had to hit her with everything.
Yeah. I agree. Omega Okada was very good. Of course, it wasn't one of their best matches out of the whole series. You know, these men are older and all that, but it was still very good and nostalgic. Yeah. So I like that one. I thought the women's gauntlet match was excellent. Mm-hmm. I mean, those were the ones that really stood out to me the most. But
for sure.
I enjoyed everything, though. I mean, the whole show was great.
Wanted to get your thoughts because we had talked throughout the last 6-7 months about the Death Riders story and the various twists and turns it was taking, some of which we weren't huge fans of, some of which, I think we were just getting a little fatigued with how long it was starting to take to get to a certain place. In retrospect, with where they landed on everything, how did you feel about it?
So, I mean, for sure, there were periods that were rough, where I wasn't as into it. But I feel because Hangman is champion again, and I feel in 2025, the Death Riders have been a lot more interesting, and the top talent has actually been feuding with them. So I feel that's made a really huge difference. I feel like because of the payoff, it was a good story, a good story with some ups and downs for the first half of it, but ultimately would have very great ending.
Yeah, I've seen some people online, especially the day after the show, who were like, I was telling you guys the whole time. And it's like, I don't think we need to pretend like it was a perfect story. It's pro wrestling. So if you're going to tell a story that long, it's going to have down parts, that just aren't as good. But I think reflecting on it myself and thinking of some of my complaints, Moxley was just a true heel. And we don't have a lot of true heels in wrestling anymore. Like the Bloodline and all that stuff, that's not true heel shit. They were cool heels, okay? A lot of people liked him. Mox made you hate him, and he made you want to see him lose the belt. What were we all saying leading into that match was Hangman has to win this match,
Oh, yeah.
And that's great pro wrestling. That is great wrestling, is when you need to see your guy win. And it would have been a huge mistake not to have him win. But, so much of the speculation about Darby and all these other things fell to the wayside. We can finally let go of all that crap. And it looks like, I think Darby's going to feud with Mox now. I think we're going to start to witness the destruction of John and the Death Riders. And I think that Darby is probably going to get the win of his career going forward here. So I agree with you. I thought it was a great event, and I'm very excited with the conclusions that it came to. But when we come back, we're going to hear some of those conclusions because we had a Dynamite this last Wednesday, and it was pretty damn good itself. So, Joshi, without further ado, I'm going to hit the music, and we'll come back.
Okay. Poor Gerald.
Hope you guys like the music I'm picking out tonight. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm really trying. So, Joshi, you want to lead us into the wild world of AEW Dynamite this last Wednesday? Gerald, come home.
I thought it was a really great show. We started off with the AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page. So he came out, and I forgot to mention that at All In, he came out to his original entrance music.
Right.
So basically showing that he is a full-blown babyface again, and He's himself again. So when he came out on Dynamite, it was to that music. Mm-hmm. So he is a top babyface now, and he cut an awesome promo, basically just being very thankful, thank the audience. He said that he's champion of the fucking world, which I really liked because he is. Yes. That belt looks amazing on him. That promo just gave me so many good, feels, because we wanted justice for Hangman Adam Page for so long. And now there he is. And basically we had a heel running things for so long.
Right.
And now we have a baby face again. As somebody that loves the company and that takes the belt very seriously and that wants to show it off. So I thought it was freaking awesome.
It was awesome. It was a great promo. I thought it was awesome of him to, run through his list of thank yous and even manage to thank Swerve, which we didn't know if he would. Antoine felt it was the worst thank you of all time, the way he thanked Swerve, which I thought was funny that he said that. But, it was begrudging, but he thanked him. And, Hangman babyfaced himself in a big way. One little thing that they did at All In that I thought was great was the camera was focused on the other side of the stage, and then it had to flip over, and Hangman kind of poked his head out like, is it okay if I come out of this side? All the little touches were there in that match in a way that I'm not sure I've ever seen any match really deliver on all the teeny tiny little parts of a story so well. The American Dragon side plates, all that. Yeah. And now we're done talking about All In. So I thought Hangman's promo was awesome. I thought he just told the crowd, look, it's not I deserve it, you deserve it. You stuck with us. Here's why I'm so grateful to you. And it really came across. And I like what he said at the end. Some people made fun of me for crying. Some people are saying I'm not a man, but I have 2 kids and a wife that love me, and I'm the champ of the fucking world. That was badass. That was just a great way to end that promo.
I really love that he said that he cries and that doesn't make him less of a man. I thought that was awesome. I feel we need more of that representation of masculinity. It's true. Real men cry, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, with having a range of emotions. So yes, I did really like that as well. And I have to say, iBlade. So my favorite parts of the show were anything featuring the Young Bucks.
Yeah, the real main event for Joshi. Let's get into it. It was the Young Bucks.
Everything that they did was hilarious.
It was incredibly entertaining. The minute they made the 3 count at All In, I was like, I cannot wait for this. Like, watching them be humiliated was amazing.
It was. And, I love that they show them arriving to the ring and they come out in an Uber. They don't even have a limo anymore. Right. And they're carrying these very cheap
ass luggage. Yeah.
Cheap ass luggages. And then we see them again and they're walking down the stairs and they're all with their luggage and they're very frustrated. And Renee interviews them and she's all happy about the fact that they lost and she's rubbing it in. And
she's mocking them. Yeah.
She's mocking them and they're all offended. And then they're looking for their locker room. And you have that guy crossing out Charlie, that's it. Crossing out EVPs. And he writes Matt and Nick. Yep. And they're so upset. They're just like, no, we're Matt and Nicholas Jackson. Yeah. That was so funny.
I love that Nick says, why am I still wearing this suit?
Yeah. So good. No private dressing room. And then you have the biggest geek out of everybody, Ricochet.
Yes.
He approaches them with Gates of Agony, the biggest freaking geek in the company.
Yes.
And he says, sucks to be you. Aha! Which made me die of laughter because he's like, this guy's a bigger geek than them. And they're just like, what the hell? We teamed up.
We teamed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was just such gold. And then you had Don Callis come. He approached them, and he's basically telling them that the way they're being treated is completely unfair and unjustified, and wants to collaborate with them. And they have this like really awkward hug.
Yes. Actually, somebody shared a photo of when he did that same hug with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay.
Oh my gosh.
And it looks exactly the same. And so very interesting stuff. I loved it. And Matt goes out of his way to say, we will never join your family. Not sure what that means. Not sure how they'll follow up on that.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. But I could see them definitely collaborating in some ways.
Yes. Yeah. They kind of teased it already, when they were talking with Trent and Rocky and, a lot of the people in the family about like taking out Hangman, Yeah,
exactly. And oh my God. And then when it was time for their match, because they basically teamed up with Hechicero and Josh Alexander, and they wrestled against Bandito, Brody King, and Jet Speed. And we had some other hilarious moments where the Bucks come out to their usual entrance music. They're waiting for their pyro. Never comes. And then on the screen, they're showing that, basically what happened at All In, where Ospreay and Swerve destroyed them. And you see them arriving in the Uber.
Yeah.
And then you see like, it was like, how can I put it? Like, one of those symbols with where you're saying you can't do that, like you can't smoke or anything like that. And so it's like EVP. Is like basically crossed out type of thing. So that was funny. And then you have like Matt and Nick written in like a crayon or something.
Yeah, like Comic Sans font.
It looked like a grade school freaking.
It's got a period at the end of it. It says Matt and Nick, period.
Yeah. And then you have Justin Roberts freaking. He was
hilarious. That was so funny. That was actually the low-key high point of the whole thing. He's like, yes, let's hear him for Matt Nick Jackson. All right.
And he says former EVPs.
Yes.
Which is hilarious.
Just like nobody likes these guys. Nobody who works at AEW.
Nobody likes these guys. Even Marina, they said hello to Marina. I forgot about this backstage, and she just gives them a really dirty look. But yes, I loved Justin Roberts in this. How he announced them, so funny. And of course, the match was excellent. Another part that made me laugh so hard was when they're getting ready to do the EVP trigger.
Yep.
And they just realize that they're no longer EVP, so they can't say it.
Yeah.
And that's when the baby faces get the upper hand.
And Nick looks at Matt like, what can we do this still? Like,
oh my God.
It was just, I looked forward to this arc of the Bucks just being shit on and just getting humbled in every single way. That is going to be incredibly entertaining television. And I have no idea what will happen from here. A lot of people were like, oh, they're going to turn babyface at some point. And I'm like, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think anybody wants to cheer the Young Bucks. They're not great baby faces as it is. They just always work better as heels, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Callis stuff. But, they did a great job at All In making you think that they would win, and nobody wants them to stay EVPs, especially when they were doing the skits, the last couple weeks before the show where they were like driving around in that ridiculous limousine. They do that god awful entrance that is one of my all time favorite entrances ever. And then you see them get their ultimate comeuppance, and I hope it just keeps coming for him. Honestly, I really do.
Me too. And honestly, it was a great match. Really cool to see Hechicero get the win, because they did tease Hechicero versus Bandito for the ROH title. So
yep.
So I mean, it made sense for Hechicero to win that match.
It's also being heavily speculated that our boy, it has not been confirmed, but it's being heavily speculated that our boy Hechicero has signed a dual contract with AEW and CMLL, a la Takeshita's deal with New Japan and DDT and AEW. that is a big get if it's true.
Heck yes.
I love Hechicero and his weird wizard erotic dancing. Me
too. He's a freaking alchemist.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome, man. So I it sounds like we're going to see a lot more of him. I think you're going to see other people do it too. I wouldn't be surprised if Mascara Dorada does it, because they're going to need to find a way to hold on to people now that WWE's in Mexico with AAA. You know, they would love to sign away some of their big names. And so this is a way Tony can help them hold on to people and be able to use them on a really regular basis. What gives CMLL the advantage over New Japan in this partner trade kind of thing is they're just proximity. They're closer. So, you know, it's not as big a deal to take a flight into the States, work a match on Dynamite or Collision or whatever, or both, and then still make it to Arena Mexico or still make it to their other cities. You know, it's 3 or 4 hours from most places. So it's really not that big a deal. So it's going to be really interesting to see how ingrained CMLL becomes with AEW, but I'm really liking that.
Oh yeah, Hechicero rules. He's one of my favorites. This was the best news to read today, so I'm freaking stoked.
Yeah, and then we had a promo from the young genius, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, talking about his title shot, his guaranteed title shot, and, you know, that he doesn't have anything to prove. He wouldn't have had anything to prove against Mox because, you know, people will remember he beat Moxley when he won the world title. But he said, but I can beat you clean, Hangman. I don't need anybody to help me beat you. And I don't, you know, this is my backup plan. And he was kind of implying it like a Money in the Bank kind of thing. Man, God damn it. This doesn't belong in AEW. That's the way I feel personally. How they took it off Christian, I was hoping that would be the last we would see of that concept. And he just said, this is my backup plan. So I'm like, could Hangman like beat him and then he cashes it in after the match and like gets another shot at him? Or, you know, he gets beaten by Hangman and the Hurt Syndicate beats the shit out of Hangman after, and then he cashes in his title shot. I don't know. I really hope that's not the direction they go. But Mark Briscoe, very shortly after this, cuts another promo on MJF where he's like, man, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do to you, but you're still on my radar. And I'm like, is Mark going to keep him from cashing in on Hangman? Is that where this is going? Because, like, what better way to screw over Max than to cost him his world title shot, his guaranteed world title shot? I don't like the Money in the Bank concept at all. Being in AEW, that world title has been kept so prestigious. Money in the Bank has really diluted the meaning of the world titles in WWE. Not that they needed any help to begin with. I mean, the Attitude Era, they went back and forth every week. But, you know, it's like, come on. You know, I don't want to see Hangman lose the belt like that. You know, and honestly, I don't want to see Max win the title like that. He's a great wrestler. He doesn't need it. So what were your thoughts about it, Joshi?
I thought MJF's promo was excellent.
It was really good.
But I agree with you. I don't want Money in the Bank in AEW. If he decides that he wants to face Hangman, sign a contract and give him a match. That's the way to do it. I am not a fan of that stipulation in AEW. It's a very WWE thing. And it's not like MJF isn't a good wrestler. Like you said, he's great. He can have an amazing match with Hangman Adam Page. So I really, really, really hope they don't do a cash-in type of thing.
Yeah. I think we're in agreement there. A lot of other people echo those same, sentiments. So moving right along, we did end up getting a promo from Adam Copeland to follow up on his return at All In, which I thought was brilliantly done. And I thought his explanation for his actions here was really, really well thought out. I love seeing him somewhere else besides WWE, because you can see what's him and what was Edge. Like, what of Edge was him and what of Edge was Vince or whoever was directing him. But he gives a promo where he says, look, I didn't come down to help Christian. I just hate FTR. here's all the things Christian did to me. I loved that. I thought that was a good reminder. Stokely ends up coming down with some security dudes to basically tell him, hey, look, you're a menace, and it's been written up that you can't touch FTR or you'll be fired. So, that definitely leaves the door open for Christian maybe being the guy to come back and take some vengeance on FTR for him. Maybe that's where they're going. We'll see. Maybe it's Jay White. They were shown to be pretty friendly the last time they were on screen. So hopefully Jay is going to be back soon. But Copeland's really smart and reminds Stokely, they said I can't touch FTR, but they didn't say anything about you. And so Stokely sends his two goons after Copeland, and he beats the crap out of them. And Stokely turns to leave and is looking at the two security guards on the floor who just run away. And Stokely realizes he's alone in the ring with Cope. He turns around, catches the spear. I thought this segment was actually really great and very well done. Like, it kind of has a bit of a WWE vibe to it, but if WWE was really good and did it really well. I thought Copeland's rationale for everything made perfect sense, which is so rare in wrestling, especially for baby faces to actually make sense for why they do what they do. So that was awesome. What do you think, Joshi?
I love that segment. I thought Adam Copeland made some excellent points. Stokely Hathaway is just such a little weasel that I want to beat up. I love that he mentioned AEW received 3 anonymous emails. Yeah, I was just laughing my ass off because it's really 3 anonymous emails.
3 anonymous emails.
I wonder who sent those.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was talking about, at some point he said something like, this is how Hathaway family reunion goes. And I said, I'd love to attend one of those family reunions.
Yeah, well, because the fans were saying, shut the fuck up before he even started talking. And he's like, sounds like a Hathaway family reunion to me.
That was hilarious. I love that he got speared. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention that I really liked at All In was after the tag match. So for the tag team titles, right. I really like that Nick Wayne turned on Christian. And then you had Adam Copeland come out and tell him, go find yourself. I thought that was really well done. I forgot to mention that earlier. But yeah, I mean, I think basically this is leading up to FTR coming back and trying to get revenge on Adam Copeland and Christian, saving Copeland. And we get the Adam Copeland and Christian reunion. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah. Oh, big time. That's definitely where it's going. And I am very interested to see how they package those two when they get back together. I don't think they're going to be doing 5-second poses and shit. I think I want, I said it on last week's show. I want the odd couple and, Adam Copeland and Christian, Christian's like a dick and Copeland's a big baby face who drives Christian nuts kind of thing. I think that could be really, really entertaining. And they're struggling to find their chemistry again, and then eventually they kind of do. Also, really love the direction they're going with Nick Wayne. Tony clearly is a big Nick Wayne guy. I'm a big Nick Wayne guy. I've been fortunate enough to see him wrestle before he was in AEW when he was really, really young, and it's amazing to see him where he's at 20 years old. That is incredible. He cut a promo with Kip Sabian and his mother, Shayna Wayne. And they kind of, they called her a matriarch. I would not have a problem with them calling it the matriarchy. That would be...
Me neither. I love it.
That would be awesome and hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, Shayna Wayne, hello.
So we had a women's 4-way match for $100,000, I think.
Right.
So when are we going to see this money?
A lot of money matches lately.
I mean, yeah, and I feel like we never get to see the money, and I want to see it. Where's the big check?
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, it was Tekla versus Amanada versus Chris Stanlander versus Willow Nightingale. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a really great match.
Really good match.
All 4 of these ladies roll.
Mm-hmm.
Tekla and Amanada just have such amazing chemistry.
Yes.
And Willow almost won this match, but Chris Statlander pulled her away.
Pulled Aubrey out of the ring.
Yes, pulled Aubrey out of the ring, which I thought made sense. Of course, she wanted the money. Who doesn't want the money, right? And Willow got kind of annoyed, and they started beating each other up outside of the ring. And then you had Amanada and Tekla in the ring, and I thought, is Amanada going to beat Tekla here?
Right.
And then you have Sky Blue coming down to the ring, and she's trying to distract Amanada, and then you have Julia Hart show up and behind Queen Amanada, and she, basically missed her face. And then Tekla picks up the win, and she now has $100,000, hopefully. So I feel like this was absolutely the right call. We discussed this before. Tekla with Julia and Sky Blue, amazing, amazing, amazing fit. They're all three dark. They all like heavy metal. Yeah. They're all three Brody King's kids now, I guess. But really, and they've been teasing it for a while with Julia and Tekla. So I loved it. I thought it was absolutely the right decision. And I'm really excited to see what these three do together. What criticism I have, though, is what's going on with Chris Statlander?
Yeah. And I think that's a really fair critique. Like, it has been running in place for a long time now. It's obvious to me that whatever happens with her next is probably going to have to do something with Willow. And I think it's time to start moving it along, guys. Like, Chris Statlander's too good a wrestler to be sitting around as much as she is. And it was one thing getting to All In. I thought she was going to have a role to play in the finish, where maybe she'd prove herself to Willow somehow or something like that. But that's not the idea. So maybe she has a hand in the destruction of the Death Riders to some degree, where she's still like a mole or something like that. I'm not sure. But I think that whatever it is, let's start moving it along. We have some very, very good friends of ours in our Discord who are stat stans. And sometimes it can be easy to be a little, like, that's your favorite, of course, every time Stat loses, you're not going to be happy about it or whatever. But I agree with them at this point. You got to move it along. Chris Statlander's too important a component, and so is Willow, to be, you just need to give the women more time is what it really comes down to. So I would like to see Chris and Willow start to progress a little more.
Same here.
Meanwhile, the Sisters of Sin, though, just real quick, the Tekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue.
Is that really their name?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think they were referred to as the Sisters of Sin. Sky Blue and Julia were. I really, really like the pairing. I think it's good. It's a really solid pairing, and hopefully, they've been kind of alluding to it for a while now with Julia and Tekla doing the kind of joint spider suplexes and stuff. So I'm very excited to see where that goes.
Spooky ladies.
Spooky. Yeah. I mean, they could pick my name, which was the Spooky Gals.
Sure. Hey, that works.
It seemed like you didn't mean that.
I know. Spooky G. It's good.
Joshi, I am doing a good job with this DJ thing after that last break.
Great job.
Why don't we have some music here? And when we come back, you're gonna lead us off with a hot take.
Okay. You did that very, very well.
Thank you.
Okay, so Eyeblade, I have a take. That might not be well received. I'm not sure. Don't kill me.
It's okay.
But basically, Timeless Tony Storm cut a promo that I wasn't the biggest fan of. My gosh, what is there to say? Lots of sex talk. Um, it's hard for me to even recap that promo because it just seemed like it was all sexual, to be honest with you.
Right.
Eventually, we had Athena on screen, and I thought, thank goodness, good. We need somebody else to talk for a little while. And Athena is ready to take on Toni Storm. When it's going to happen, I don't know. But I was just so happy to see her there. So what's my take here? Basically, I feel Toni Storm the past few weeks has been leaning into this overly horny woman that wants to basically have sex with all her opponents. And it's starting to reach a creepy level for me. And I know this woman has more range than that. She's shown us that she could be very crazy. So I'm not sure why they're leaning into this so heavily. And it's just, I don't like the implication. What is this saying about bisexual women? They're all, like lusting after every woman that they see, and that they're just going to kiss you and not without warning, and that they're going to lick your privates without warning. It's just not sitting with me well. I wouldn't like it if a man spoke like this. I'm not going to applaud a woman for talking like this. And for a while, I thought it was great. It's like, oh, a woman being, overtly sexual and basically saying, hey, like, this is who I am. And I like the fact that she's openly bisexual. I love all of that. But lately, it's just reaching this predatory level where is this going to become like a Golda situation where he's just going to force himself onto, where she really will force herself onto her opponents? I mean, kind of feels like sexual assault. Like I mentioned earlier, the oral sex gesture on Mercedes at All In. How is that okay? It didn't sit well with me at all. I know that Toni Storm is so much more than this. And I don't think it always has to be about sex. They did that with Mariah a lot, and fine, that's totally cool. Does it have to be this way with every single opponent of hers? Like, how do you feel about this, iBlade?
Up until very recently, I wouldn't have agreed with that. And in the Mercedes match, the kind of oral sex thing, that did feel weird to me, and it didn't land with me. It was something I could overlook as just like a, whatever, like maybe like kind of a poor choice in isolation. But yeah, I think that we're starting to get to this point with Toni where she's becoming a one-note character where it's just a bunch of sex puns. She's been such a captivating character up to this point. I don't want to see it just continue down that path. I think some of it is Toni's just been the centerpiece of the women's division for so long. And that's just, it's hard, and I mean, when this character was created, I think a lot of people believed, like, how can she keep doing this, And she's kept it going for so long. But lately, it is starting to feel like some of the promos, and I'm talking about really very lately, like the promos are just kind of targeted towards 13-year-old boys. It's just a lot of like just base level sex humor that's not as clever or whatever. And I didn't love this promo the way I usually do with Toni. Up until now, I've been able to say, yeah, but it is clever and it is this and it is that. And I don't want to see Toni Storm become a Gold Dust type character where it's like, I'm going to kiss you, like this kind of thing, like against your will, where that's where the character borders into an area that I don't want. I don't want for Toni. I don't want that at all, And so like, I'm totally love Timeless Toni Storm. Everybody who's listened to this show knows how much I love this character. I've been calling her the greatest character in the history of wrestling for years now. But right now seems like, hey, like we could go, this is like the point where we could be going too far. And I really don't want that to continue. I think Tony needs to be a little more serious, probably with an opponent like Athena. She showed some seriousness with Mercedes at times in that build. And I thought that was a good direction for the character. I would like to see that happen here. You know, I don't want to like repress Tony. I don't want to repress the character. I just think there's not a lot of variety in the character right now, and it's becoming too samey, you know, where it's just like an old rock promo where you're just going to get a bunch of, you know, Rudy Poo, pie, blah, 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 fill in the blank here. I don't want to see that happen with Tony. And this last promo struck me that way a little bit. And maybe it was because of that spot in that match, too, where I'm like, okay, I think this is as far as we should go with this. Like, I don't want to see this keep going that direction. And so I'm glad we're talking about it. It's not an attack of Tony because we're both fans of Tony. But I agree with you. I think that, you know, it's starting to get a little too much. It's just too much. And so my hope is that we can, you know, and I'm sure not everybody will agree with this, you know, but that's how I feel. I know that's how you feel. And I would like to see Timeless just kind of have a little more range, let's say, than she does right now. So, you know, my hope is that Athena takes this title. Honestly, I think, you know, portraying her as the world beater and having Mercedes and her end up in a feud at some point, having Tony maybe out of the direct spotlight. She can still be on every show. I mean, they're going to have her on every show. I understand why they've leaned into some of this so hard is because Tony gets ratings and Tony sells a bunch of merch. She's great. But this aspect of the character is becoming too samey from promo to promo. And I don't want to see that continue. It's only been a few weeks. Let's just course correct. That's all I'm saying. Moving on from there, Joshi, I am excited for that program, and I am excited to see how they continue to get there. But another thing that I was very excited about was the entrance of Kazuchika Okada to brand new music. Oh, my God. I saw some people freaking out on Blue Sky that he didn't come out to the Rainmaker theme. And you know what? Things change, people. Times change. Okada wanted to change his music. It came out today, and I'm all in support of that. He's not in New Japan anymore, okay? He shouldn't be coming out to the old Rainmaker theme. One of the things I really noticed during the match with Kenny was Okada was leaning into being more of like a vicious, evil heel, you know, where in this whole program, the goal of, he was trying to kill Kenny. He was trying to retire Kenny. He said in his promo, maybe I'll even kill you, you know, like, so him coming out to a new theme really actually feels very appropriate to me, you know, dressed entirely in black. I like it. I like, you know, the song itself, like, whatever. It's not my favorite song in the world or anything, but at the same time, after I hear it 2 or 3 more times and I start associating that with him and expecting to hear that, like you expect to hear the Rainmaker song, which I also didn't like the first time I heard it. It sounds like just generic butt rock the first time you hear it. But now, you know, now that's the song you associate with him. And then eventually someday this will be the song I expect to hear when he comes out. But he comes out with Don Callis. Don Callis carrying both of the titles. Kurt Jangle in our review absolutely called this 100%. The heel way to do this is to have Callis with the 2 belts and Okada wearing the new unified title. Joshi, that is a goddamn gorgeous belt, by the way.
It really is. It's beautiful.
And they don't waste a lot of time. Okada calls out Swerve and says, "You screwed my friends, the Young Bucks, you bitch." And whom should appear? I was not expecting him to call out Swerve, of all people.
Me neither.
Holy shit. And the music hits. Swerve comes out in the most fucking amazing suit. Rhinestoned out to the gills. And he comes out and he says, "Yeah, I did do that. What you going to do about it, bitch?" And that was literally the entire interaction. And I had chills and was excited and can't wait. I think maybe they're doing this for Forbidden Door. So I'm excited to see where this goes and have no idea who they would put over in this situation. I assume Okada, just because he just unified the titles. But you know what? If these guys feud for a while, I'm totally fine with that. Joshi?
I loved everything about that. I wasn't sure about Okada's new theme music at first, but like you said, we're gonna have to get used to it. It's a new Okada. Mm-hmm. Swerve looked really amazing in that suit. He should wear that more often. It just, I don't know, but I loved everything about his presence on Wednesday, and this is going to be a really awesome match. Very excited for the build. I think, there's a very good possibility that the match will take place at Forbidden Door. Mm-hmm. And so I agree with you. Whoever wins doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, this is a feud that I did not see coming right now, and I'm very happy we're getting it. So awesome surprise, and should be an amazing match.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be a really cool rivalry. You know, these are the kind of matches that, like, the roster is so stacked that you just don't even see some of this coming. Like, you don't even have time to ponder all the dream matches that are possible. And then fucking here we are, you know, there's a new one. So yeah, Okada looks great with that belt. Holy shit. And, and then there was just one match to close the night, and kind of a significant portion of that. Why don't you talk about it, Joshi?
So yeah, the main event was Hangman Adam Page, Briscoe and Hobbs versus the Death Riders. So Claudio, Castagnoli, Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta. Mm-hmm. It was a very fun match. Everyone did their part and looked good. What I thought stood out the most about this match was Jon Moxley not really wanting to wrestle Hangman Adam Page. So I guess what happened, or anyone really. So what happened at All In, I guess, left him, on edge, which is great because it's about freaking time. He's been fearless and untouchable for so long now. Mm-hmm. So it's good to see this different side of him.
He's acting like a real heel again, where it's like now he's scared of Hangman because Hangman just beat him and outmoxed him, basically. And he's terrified of him now. But he's terrified of somebody else too, Joshi.
Darby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks so scared of Darby. We saw Darby at the top. So he was at the rafters again, and he's watching the match. And so the cameraman basically focuses on Darby, and Mox gets distracted, and the Death Riders lose. And you could tell, like, he's terrified of Darby Allin, which I like. So hopefully this leads to a Darby Allin Mox match, and Darby finally beats Moxley. I think that would be awesome.
I think it would be cool if Darby's the guy who actually puts the Death Riders down.
Yeah.
Like Hangman didn't have to do that. He took the title, and Darby's the one who ends the Death Riders. That would be cool. And that's a great way to put Darby over in a big way.
Oh, yeah. Like, Darby is just such an AEW advocate,
Yes.
Give him a really big moment. He deserves it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's earned it, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, Joshi, we've earned ourselves another little music break, because when we come back, we asked you guys on social media a question, and we're going to be answering them when we come back, also with our picks. That's right. Here's another little Blade Daily selection.
That was an interesting song.
Oh, you liked it?
Sure.
You liked it, right?
I loved it, yeah.
You like the song?
Yeah, totally.
Why won't you look at me when you say, yeah?
I'm just having some issues with my eyes right now.
Oh. Okay. All right. Let's not get hung up on that. Anyway, great song. So, Joshi, this was an exercise in not being specific enough, because in certain places I think I was, because I got what I was looking for, which was What so far have been your most underloved matches of 2025? The matches people aren't raving about all the time. And we got a bunch of responses. I put it out into some friends privately. I put it out on social media on our Blue Sky and Threads. And so let's start with our picks. Joshi, why don't you go first?
Sure. So these are some matches that I feel are hidden gems that we kind of forgot about. Mm-hmm. So for me, definitely Mercedes versus Momo Watanabe at Revolution. I thought that was an awesome match, but it got overshadowed by the Hollywood ending. Mm-hmm. And so we don't really talk about this match enough. I mean, it was so hard hitting. Momo's an excellent wrestler. We know how great Mercedes is. So we'll be nice if we would discuss this match more. Mm-hmm. Then I went with Sherry versus Alex Windsor, which I thought was an awesome match. But I feel like, unfortunately, when matches don't take place in AEW and WWE, they're not really talked about as much, which is unfortunate. So that's really an example of that. I mean, Sherry really dominated that match and looked like the biggest badass in the world, but it was still so good. I mean, Alex Windsor showed that she's perfectly capable of hanging in the ring with some of the best Joshis in the world. So I really wish that match would get more love.
Was this a Rev Pro match or a Stardom match?
Rev Pro. Okay. So this was a Rev Pro match. And the other Rev Pro match, which I feel deserves a lot more love, is Jamie Hayter versus Alex Windsor.
That was a great match.
Yeah, this was a dream match for Alex Windsor. She finally got it. She wrestles a very similar style to Jamie Hayter. And so they just gelled so well together in the ring. And again, a match that doesn't really get talked about much, which is unfortunate because it really was excellent. Maybe Jamie Hayter's best match this year, along with Mercedes, her match with Mercedes at Double or Nothing. And also a shout out to my younger brother, Ben. He gave me some suggestions. So he said the Bucks versus Jet Speed. So when the Bucks finally came back to AEW, which he's totally right. We don't talk about that match enough.
No, we don't.
I even had issues remembering it, to be honest, because there have just been so many matches recently. And another match that he brought up, and this is so true, is Kazuchika Okada versus Mike Bailey. That really was a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm. Ben, I feel like you might be a Mike Bailey fan.
He does like Mike Bailey. He does love Mike Bailey, but it's so true. Like, Okada Bailey was very terrific. And wasn't that Bailey's first pay-per-view match?
Singles,
or was that his second one? Yeah, singles.
Well,
right?
So he had wrestled the triple threat with Ricochet and Kenny.
Yeah.
And then he wrestled solo versus Okada. It was the first time he was in just a normal singles match. Yeah. So those are great picks. That Jet Speed versus Bucks match wasn't that long ago. But yeah, I mean, AEW has just upped the quality level of these matches so much that even great fucking matches kind of fly over your head sometimes. We had a Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita match on Dynamite this year that nobody's talking about, and that's not even my pick. My three are actually all New Japan based. Ricochet versus Zack Sabre Jr. at Wrestle Dynasty was a fucking great match and just overshadowed by other things that happened that weekend. Kind of lost in the pageantry, I think, of just them doing this big super show together. I love it when Ricochet shows his technical wrestling side, which he doesn't do a lot, especially now because he's really playing up his heel shit. But I remember seeing him wrestle like Pete Dunne or somebody like that in NXT years ago and being shocked at how good he was technically. So with Zach, they really brought that out of each other. And they also had some legendary shit talk in that match. Next match for me is Nick Wayne versus El Desperado from the Best of the Super Junior tournament. Really, really good match. Also set the table. Nick Wayne beat El Desperado, which is a huge deal. But El Desperado fucked him up really bad in the match, and it really hampered his ability to continue winning as he went forward. Nick starts off really hot in this tournament, and then he starts cooling off pretty soon after this match. But this is a really, really great match. It just shows the range of Nick Wayne. There's nothing overly special about it other than these guys are both just great fucking workers, and they push each other in a really cool way. And then finally, Wrestle Kingdom that same weekend, Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, because they're in January, I feel like these events constantly get overlooked because by the end of the year, everybody's talking about other things that are more recent. But Mercedes and Mina Shirakawa had a really, really great match at Wrestle Kingdom that people aren't really talking about anymore. It was kind of, to me, Mina Shirakawa's coming out party is like, hey, she's like a really fundamentally technically sound wrestler who is also a badass who can hurt people. And they had a fan-fucking-tastic match. When they wrestled again recently, I was very excited because of the match they'd had before, and that match was great as well. But those are my matches that are flying under the radar. But we have a number of others that we got from other people. Joshi, why don't you lead us off with the folks from in the private chat?
Sure, we'll do. Before I do that, I want to make a correction. So Sherry versus Windsor and Windsor versus Jamie actually took place in the all-women's promotion Eve, not Rev Pro. That's it.
Guys, check out Eve. They're on YouTube, and you can see a lot of their stuff for free.
If you want to look sexy as fuck, go to sickosclub.com/merch and get you some.
So, okay, let me read some of these here. So I'll start off with Lee. Lee says, Takeshita versus Bandito just happened, and it was unreal. All In completely overshadowed it. So I did hear amazing things about this match, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Well, I haven't watched that Sherry Windsor match, so we're even. But, like, Joshi, you are going to love this match. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. I've heard so many amazing things about it. Mm-hmm. Really stoked to watch this one.
Thanks, Madoni.
Next, we have Troubles.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's between Bandito and Hologram versus El Sky team from the June 20th CMLL Fantastica Mania Mexico show.
That was a great match.
It was a great match. And Shiri versus Suri for the IWGP Women's title at Stardom Conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Both have that You Want Our Style, but here it is at 100% quality, while the CMLL tag was more about the impressive aerial offense, while the women's bout was a true war of attrition. So in regards to Shiri versus Suri, I do want more people to watch it. I do think it did get a lot of praise. I mean, this is the highest rated women's match this year so far.
Right.
And I don't think it's going to change. But I do understand what Troubles is saying in the sense that, you know, when it comes to like globally, there aren't as many people that should be talking about it, which is true. It's just one of those unfortunate situations where if a match doesn't take place in the United States, most of the times it doesn't get as much attention.
Right.
Next up, we have Pippin. In that same vein, the match between Thunder Rosa and Athena, as well as the four-way for the ROH Women's TV Championship on that same show, were both next level.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they were both really, really good. That four-way was great with Mina and Persephone and I'm drawing a blank here. Mina, Persephone,
Yuka Sakazaki, and Mio Yamashita.
There you go. Bailing me out. Thank you, friendo.
No problem. I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, I didn't realize you hadn't seen that card yet. It's really good.
No, I do have to watch that really, really soon. Next up, we have Tino Ibarra.
Mm-hmm.
Athena versus Mercedes was top tier, and Bandito versus Mystico and CMLL also. Also, I mean, it just happened, but that FTR versus Outrunners match on Collision was some good tag team wrestling. Bandito has just been putting on banger after banger. Absolutely, yep. I agree. Athena versus Mercedes was an amazing match.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely deserves a lot of love. One of my favorite women's matches from this year. Mm-hmm. Bandito versus Mystico was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great match. One of the best Mystico matches I've seen in a long time. You know, he's still very good in the ring. He is, you know, getting older, of course. I told Tino, Bandito is like one of my low-key picks for Wrestler of the Year. He's just on fire right now. It's unbelievable.
Completely agree. And yeah, FTR versus Outrunners, that was definitely an awesome match from Collision.
Amazing.
It's Pippin's favorite FTR match this year.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Pippin then adds Kids Bandit versus Zack Sabre Jr. at Effie's Big Gay Brunch. Amazing opponent for a return match and showed how much work Kid Bandit had put in during her time away.
Yeah. Kid Bandit has, you know, been around the wrestling scene for a long time, but took a long break. And she's back. I haven't seen that match, but I haven't heard about it either. So you're right. Pippin, it's under discussed, obviously.
We'll have to watch that one at some point.
Yeah.
Tino Ibarra says also Hechicero versus Zack Sabre Jr. at Battle in the Valley. Let Hechicero and Zack Sabre Jr. do a shoot a college match, you cowards. that was a
cool
really
match.
Awesome match.
That was an awesome match.
These two are amazing.
No, I loved it.
Okay, we then have some responses on threads. Mm-hmm. So we've got Neon Ghost, Mark Briscoe versus Eddie Kingston for the ROH World Title. LOL. Yes, I wrote a whole blog piece on this, but it's one of my favorite matches, and I don't know if people talk about it enough.
Yeah, go to sickosclub.com and read Ghost's piece about that. It is a very good match from last year. This is where I wasn't specific enough about it being this year, because on threads we did get a number of people picking stuff that was older, but no problem. This is just about the love of the game, folks. So whatever's clever.
Agreed. We then have Justin CKW. So El Desperado versus Moxley at Windy City Riot. Mox fell in love with the skewer spot here, in my opinion. But all a great match between my fave Ace and my fave Junior HVT.
Heavyweight, yeah. Junior heavyweight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. It's a badass match. I mean, this match generated a lot of buzz for that spot, but these are just two people who don't give a fuck and will do absolutely crazy shit, but are also extremely good wrestlers.
Exactly. I completely agree. That was an awesome match. We've then got Crows in Different Area Codes version 2. Jamie Hayter's first defense against Sheeta on December 21st, 2022. My favorite AEW women's match, and for my money, certainly the best women's TV match. Definitely love that match. They wrestled the All Japan Women's Wrestling style. I know that was their intention.
Yep.
And I really wanted to see more matches like that with Jamie, but she did end up getting hurt.
Yep.
So hopefully she'll be okay soon and she could give us those kind of matches again.
Her matches just before this with Toni Storm as well were really hard-hitting, great matches.
Completely agree. Next up, we have Cryptid Pigeon. I think a lot of matches from early AEW Dark Elevation tend to get forgotten and overlooked before it became mostly squash matches to pad records, when they genuinely had some of the best matches and pairings at the time. Yeah, there were some good ones for sure. Then we've got Random Eye 1131. There was a Zack Sabre Jr. versus Filthy Tom Lawler match from 2 years ago I adore. I love Zack Sabre Jr. and Filthy Tom quickly grew on me. I just remember the match being hella fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, Filthy Tom's he's good. He's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah, he's an excellent wrestler. His little shorts, how he removes one pair and then he has something shorter. Yeah, it's always hilarious to me.
Yeah, and for a long time he was coming out to New Kids on the Block and shit.
Yeah,
that was really funny. Yeah.
All right, I Blade, your turn. Blue Sky.
We had one more on Threads.
Oh, I guess I can't see it.
No, that's okay. It's from Star World V1. I think this is well known by people that have watched Stardom religiously for years, but I think every wrestling fan should know about it. It's the Wonder of Stardom championship match between Arisa Hoshiki and Konami at Stardom's year-end Climax 2019. Just 15 minutes of pure graps, one of the greatest Wonder Belt matches in history. I have never seen that match. I will have to check that out, and we thank you for sharing it. Have you seen it, Joshi?
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. It's possible. It's a while back.
Yeah, no, 2019 for sure.
Sure. I think I did.
Over on Blue Sky, Grap Top says Ty J versus Penelope and Ali from December 19th, 2021. I believe that's the no DQ plunder match, including it in my AEW gratitude list, but it's worth a shout. Birth of Plunder Anna and set the tone for women's brutality. It really did. That's a fantastic match. That might have been the first match where, no, Britt did it first, but up to that point, it wasn't common to see women blade. And so that was a kind of a landmark match in a lot of ways for AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Young J 76. Speaking of Young J, I have a piece with Young J coming to as some bonus content to the channel. We actually had a chat in person forever ago, and things have been crazy as hell. So I haven't gotten it up yet, but it's coming up very soon. Young J said, Commander versus Leo Rush series on Rampage. Those were really, really good matches. I love Leo Rush, man. Love seeing Leo in singles matches. I'd like to see more of Crew, to be honest with you. I think Crew's really good. And then Swerve versus Claudio at the Jacksonville Homecoming Collision. Totally agree. That was a great match. Good opponents. I would like to see another, like a real feud with these guys at some point after the Death Riders thing is over. Would love to see Claudio and Swerve mix it up a little more. They're actually not that far off in size. Claudio's a little taller, but body-wise, when you see him side by side there, it's not like he's like towers over Swerve, you know? And then finally, from Still a Big Kid, Doom versus the Four Horsemen, Barry Windham and Arn Anderson at Starrcade 90. Despite the screwy finish, I believe it ends in some kind of weird double pin or something, and no one really knowing what the rules were. It's a textbook example of a wrestling brawl. No one really cares about pins. It's just an excuse to hurt your opponent in jeans and cowboy boots. Still a Big Kid. I will back you up 100% on this match. It was a standout match from WCW that year, which isn't a great year for WCW, but it is the first year I was watching WCW, and that is a really, really fun match. They also had a match with Flair and Arn Anderson, I believe, at a Clash of the Champions or Halloween Havoc, maybe, shortly before this. That was also very good. Doom was a really underrated tag team that just didn't last very long. But yeah, that's it. That's what we got for people. Thank you, everyone. We like to do these themed questions. We'll do some more of them. We hadn't gotten to any for a while. So we'll try to do these a little more regularly. But Joshi, the people should definitely follow us on Blue Sky. Follow us on Threads so that next time we ask a question like this, you can weigh in. We love getting your responses. We love your feedback. If you have any more, send it to us via email. sitdownshutupmarkout@gmail.com. Send them to us. We love reading your feedback. Till next time, I'm Blade Daly.
I'm Joshi G, and I just want to add, Joshi J thinks that another reason Dustin Rhodes probably won the TNT title was because of the Texas floods near Austin.
Oh, that could be.
It could be. Anyway.
Goodbye, everybody.
Sickos Club. Sickos Club.